Welcome to Express News. Over the next 30 minutes, a quick fire look at the top 100 stories that are trending in India. I'm Anil Thomas. Let's get started. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence Summit held at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi today. The three-day summit aims to bridge the gap between theory and practice on artificial intelligence by supporting cutting-edge research and applied activities on AI-related priorities. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence Summit in the national capital. During the event, Prime Minister said that AI has the potential to revolutionize India's tech landscape. Prime Minister also said that India is the most prominent player in AI talent and new ideas related to artificial intelligence. Prime Minister said India is fully committed to responsible and ethical use of artificial intelligence. On the sixth day of the winter session of Indian Parliament, supplementary demands for grants first batch for 23-24 and demands for excess grants for 2020-21 passed in Lok Sabha. Indian President Draupadi Murmu on Tuesday graced and addressed the second convocation of Indian Institute of Information Technology, Lucknow. The Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra has reached in Sula constituency in the North Indian state of Himachal Pradesh. The Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra also reached the district of Barabanki in India's northern state of Uttar Pradesh, where it spread information regarding Union government's welfare programs and schemes. The Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra camp was organized at New Ashok Nagar in India's capital New Delhi under the central government's initiative. Bharatiya Janata Party on Tuesday announced the first-time member of Legislative Assembly Bhajan Lal Sharma as the new Chief Minister of Rajasthan. The Bharatiya Janata Party also announced Diya Kumari and Prem Chand Bairwa as the two Deputy Chief Ministers in Rajasthan. Chief Minister Designate of Madhya Pradesh Mohan Yadav will take oath on Wednesday. As Chennai still reels under the effects of the cyclone, a central team from Delhi arrived in the city for the spot assessment of the situation after the cyclone. A six-member central committee convened for a consultation session to evaluate the impact of different rain-affected areas in the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu. The Indian Armed Forces contingent comprising 45 personnel is in Hanoi in Vietnam to participate in the fourth edition of the joint military exercise Winbacks 2023. India marks a pivotal moment in India's journey towards becoming a top-notch manufacturing hub for cutting-edge mobile technology. India's economy surges with a remarkable 7.6% expansion in the second quarter of this financial year. The 20th edition of the Global Inclusive Finance Summit begins in New Delhi today. Theme of the two-day summit is Future of Finance, Inclusive and Equitable Growth for All. At close, the Sensex was down 377.5 points or 0.54% at 69,551 points. Nifty was down 90.7 points or 0.43% at 20,906.4. Gold futures maturing on Feb 5, 2024 stood at 61,335 per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures maturing on March 5th witnessed a hike of 315 rupees or 0.44% and were retailing at 72,238 rupees per kilogram on the MCX. Oil prices held steady on Tuesday ahead of key interest rate policy and inflation data announcements amid doubts that production cuts by OPEC next year would offset crude oversupply and weaker fuel demand growth. Brent crude futures for February were up 47 cents at $76.5 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediary crude futures for January delivery gained 50 cents to $71.8 a barrel. Indian rupee ended flat at 83.3 per dollar. New York State Governor Kathy Hochul announced a $10 billion partnership to make New York a semiconductor capital of the world. The United Auto Workers Union, that's UAW, filed unfair labor practice charge against Honda Motors, Hyundai Motors and Volkswagen, citing aggressive anti-union campaigns to deter workers from organizing. International Monetary Fund's Executive Board, that's IMF, has approved a $900 million disbursement for Ukraine from its $15.6 billion loan program. Ukraine claims 73 battles has taken place between the Russian and Ukrainian troops in the last 24 hours. Ukraine's air defense system destroyed 9 of the 15 attack drones Russia launched overnight into Ukrainian territory and 2 cruise missiles. Britain would transfer 2 Royal Navy mine hunter ships to the Ukrainian Navy as it sets up a new maritime defense coalition alongside Norway to help strengthen Ukraine's sea operations. Congo millionaire businessman Moise Katumbi was welcomed by thousands of supporters after he launched a presidential ambition that has somewhat been on hold since 2015. Yemen's Iran-aligned Houthis carried out a military operation against the Norwegian commercial tanker Strinda in its latest operation to protest against Israel's bombardment of Gaza. A barrage of flares continuously fell on Gaza overnight, and though the early hours of Tuesday morning as Israel continues to bombard the enclave. Well, after the collapse of a week-long ceasefire on December 1st, the flares fell in southern Gaza and has since pushed from the east into the heart of the city of Khan Yunis, with warplanes attacking an area to the west. The casualties arrived at Nasir Hospital in Khan Yunis on following the fresh airstrikes in Gaza, as billows of grey smoke was seen rising in the city from neighborhoods in the enclave. The death toll from the ongoing Palestinian-Israel issue has exceeded 19,600. The Colombian Navy announced the seizure of hundreds of tons of illegal drugs as part of a 45-day campaign to crack down on international drug trafficking. The UK Supreme Court ruled last month that Rwanda was an unsafe place to send those arriving in smaller boats on England's southern coast, and that the government's plan would breach British and international law. Venezuela has started working up on its ambitions to revive an offshore natural gas field close to the maritime border with Guyana, with contacting energy firms involved in a Long Island offshore natural gas project. COP28 to end in Dubai today, with more than 100 countries agreeing to triple their renewable energy capacity by 2030, and Azerbaijan set to hold the COP next year. Disappointment was widespread across the COP28 venue early after a draft of a potential climate deal omitted the phase-out of fossil fuels that has been demanded by many nations. The draft has set the stage for contentious last-minute negotiations in a 2-week summit in Dubai, which has laid bare deep international divisions over whether oil, gas and coal should have a place in a climate-friendly future. Speaking at a press conference of COP28, Antonio Guterres noted that all parties need to combine climate ambition and equity, and that developed countries should fulfill their commitments. A young climate activist took to the stage during the COP28 session holding a banner reading "End Fossil Fuels, Save Our Planet and Our Future" before being escorted off stage by the security. Egyptians voted on the second day of a presidential election in which Abdel Fattah el-Sisi is expected to sweep to a third six-year term amid crisis and war on Egypt's border in Gaza. Congo's millionaire businessman Moise Katumbi was welcomed by 1,000 supporters in eastern Congo's capital Goma after he launched a presidential ambition that has somewhat been on hold since 2015. A Chinese naval formation led by the aircraft called Shandong sailed through the Taiwan Strait as per Taiwan's defense ministry. Spanish police in the northwestern port of Vigo seized 7.5 tons of cocaine from South America hidden inside frozen tuna fish due to the distribution across Europe. It was the biggest drugs bust by volume in the history of Galicia, the Atlantic region whose rough coastline, Spain's longest, has been used to smuggle drugs for decades. EU ministers met in Brussels in a crunch week for Ukraine hoped for EU membership, with Hungary opposing the opening of membership talks ahead of a summit of leaders later this week. Poland's parliament has elected centrist party leader Donald Tusk as prime minister after 8 years of conservative rule. Bosnian towns topped the world air pollution chart since last weekend as capital city Sarajevo declares an air quality warning, and experts blame residential solid fuel burning and transportation for the increase. Despite Sarajevo's authorities pledging to make the city carbon-free by 2035, a cost of living crisis has forced people to choose cheaper solid fuels for home heating and to drive older cars with higher emissions of pollutants. Satellite images captured deadly storms that move across part of Tennessee over the weekend, with emergency crews working to check, clear and restore power to areas hard hit by the storm. The tornado caused a fireball to erupt at an electric facility near Nashville, Tennessee, with flames engulfing power equipment at the substation. Residents in northeast Australia braced for heavy rain and damaging winds from Cyclone Jasper, as it is expected to make its landfall in the next 24 hours. Jasper, located about 250 kilometers off the far north coast of Queensland state in the Coral Sea, is forecast to intensify into a Category 2 storm, packing wind gusts up to 140 kilometers per hour. The Sri Ranganatha Swami temple in the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu was illuminated with colorful lights for the annual Vaikunta Ekadashi festival. The Vaikunta Ekadashi, commencing today and concluding on Jan 2nd, is a Hindu festival dedicated to worshipping Hindu deity Lord Vishnu. India's capital New Delhi is set to host the 11th Northeast Festival from the 22nd of December for 3 days at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium. The festival will include a lineup of cultural events celebrating Northeast India, along with a Christmas special bazaar of Northeastern crafts and Delhi's bakery stalls. Tibetan Buddhist monks offered prayers for peace and to dispel the evil of its previous year in a religious ceremony called Gutor in the North Indian state of Himachal Pradesh. About 30,000 devotees gathered in the northeast India's Gangtok for the Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama's one-day teaching of the 37 practices of Bodhisattva. India is progressing to becoming a top-notch manufacturing hub for cutting-edge mobile technology as mobile manufacturing giants expand their operations in India. India witnessed a remarkable increase in US and European greenfield investment, while investment in China have decreased significantly. An annual rice-cutting making event was held in western Japan's Shiga Prefecture with a popular local mascot, Hikoyan, taking part in the event. The rice cakes will be displayed as Kagami Mochi, a traditional New Year decoration from December 21st through January 3rd next year. Tango lovers took to the streets of Old Havana to celebrate International Tango Day in the Cuban capital, putting their best foot forward. According to locals, tango is gaining popularity among younger generations in Cuba. Young couples showed off their best steps, captivating locals. Colombian families boarded a steam train decorated with festive lights and with special guests including Santa Claus and the elves in Bogota. Musicians on the Christmas Express delighted young passengers and their parents as they sang Christmas carols during the journey. The annual Totori Sand Dune Illusion Light Festival is underway in Totori Sand Dunes, a major tourist spot in western Japan. This year's theme for the light show is Space Fantasy, which is a nod to the role of the sand dunes as a location for experiments by the space industry. Local Chad all-female band called Les Antis, comprising of 8 survivors of gender-based violence, is advocating for women's independence through the power of music. Les Antis' songs view tales of adversity and empowerment while using both traditional and modern digital instruments. The group will soon release their debut album. Korea's Music Bank Global Festival was held in Japan after 12 years. The festival will also be held at the KBS Hall in South Korea capital Seoul on the 15th of December. Around 30,000 K-pop fans from all over Japan gathered for the concert, which saw a fantastic lineup of K-pop superstars. South Indian superstar Rajnikant turns 73 today. Fans flock outside the actor's residence to celebrate his birthday. Veteran lyricist screenwriter Javed Akhtar will be honored with the Padma Pani Lifetime Achievement Award at the Ajanta Ellora Film Festival to be held on Jan 3rd next year. Hollywood heartthrob Zac Efron was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in Los Angeles. Academy Actor Award-winning actress Lupita Nyong has been appointed to lead the jury for next year's Berlin Film Festival. Nominations for Hollywood's 2024 Golden Globe Awards have been announced. The voting body now consists of 300 journalist members from 75 countries with 60 racial and ethnic diversity, 60%. Summer blockbuster Barbie has topped the list of nominees for the 2024 Golden Globe Awards with 9 nods, outpacing the 8 for historical drama Oppenheimer. Family drama Succession leads TV nominations of the 81st Golden Globe Awards with 9 nominations, followed by culinary drama The Bear with 5. Popular short-form video app TikTok hosted its inaugural live music festival TikTok in the Mix in Arizona, bringing together emerging talents from its Elevate program and A-listed performers like Cardi B, Offset and Peso Pluma. American singer-songwriter Alicia Keys made a surprise appearance at St. Pancras International Station in London, serenading commuters with her hit songs on a black piano donated by British icon Elton John. American pianist Chloe Flower has released a 16-track festive record titled Chloe Heart's Christmas, mixing tunes with a pop and classic music style. The England Cricket Board has announced a 16-member squad for the 5-match Test series against India beginning in Jan next year. Australian batter all-rounder Travis Head has been named as the ICC's Men's Player of the Month for November 2023. The International Cricket Council has announced the revised schedule for the Under-19 Men's Cricket World Cup, which is set to be held in South Africa. The India Junior Men's Hockey team booked a spot in the semi-finals of the FIH Hockey Junior World Cup after they defeated Netherlands 4-3 in the second quarter-final on Tuesday in Kuala Lumpur. High jumpers Varun Singh Bhati and Nishat Kumar won a gold medal each on the opening day of the athletic competition at the inaugural Khelo India Para Games. Indian Grandmaster Vidit Gujrati defeated compatriot Arjun Eragassi by 0.5 points to win the 9th chess tournament in Azerbaijan. Indian southern city of Chennai will host the Chennai Grandmasters chess competition from 15 to the 21st. Lionel Messi's Inter Miami will play 2 matches in Saudi Arabia early next year, including one against familiar foe Cristiano Ronaldo and his club, Al Nassr. The Turkish Football Federation has suspended all leagues after Ankara's Guku president Faruk Koka punched the referee in the face at the end of the Super League home game against Rispor. Bayern Munich will take on Manchester United in the UEFA Champions League later tonight. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of Express News. I hope you liked the program. In case you did, do tell others. In case you don't, drop us a mail. Well, that's it from me and my team. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Take care.